Hello friends, in this part of video we will explore the go back N protocol, one of the two approach towards pipelined error recovery and which also address the issue of channel utilization. Now we will explore the pipeline protocols. Two basic approaches towards pipelined error recovery can be identified as go back N and selective repeat. In go back N protocol, sender is allowed to send n packets in pipeline and receiver sends the cumulative acknowledgement, and in case of failure retransmit or sender needs to retransmit all unacknowledged packets. Here sender has a timer for oldest unacknowledged packet, and when timer expire it retransmit all the unacknowledged packet. Whereas in selective repeat, receiver sends individual acknowledgement and sender needs to retransmit only the unacknowledged packet. Here sender maintains timer for each unacknowledged packet individually. When timer expires, it retransmits only the unacknowledged packet instead of sending all packets as in case of go back N. We will explore each one of these in more detail. In a go back N protocol, which is popularly known as GBN, the sender is allowed to transmit multiple packets when available, that too without waiting for an acknowledgement from receiver. But it is constrained to have no more than some maximum allowable number n. Here this window size of n packet is shown of unacknowledged packet in the pipeline. Before moving forward to explore the GBN in detail, first we will see the intricacy of the range of sequence number used in GBN protocol. Here if we define base to be the sequence number of the oldest unacknowledged packet and next sequence number to be the smallest unused sequence number, that is the sequence number of the next packet to be sent. Then we're having four intervals of range of sequence numbers which can be identified. Here I have defined a fixed size window. Size of window is n packets, and this window is sliding as the protocol is sending packets from transmitter to receiver, that is from sender to receiver. The first interval, that is 0 to base minus 1, 0th packet to base minus 1 packet, corresponds to the packets that have already been transmitted and acknowledged, as it has been shown in caption here. Already sent and acknowledged. Next interval is base to next sequence minus 1, that is starting from base to next sequence number minus 1, corresponds to the packet that have been sent but not yet acknowledged. Third range would be sequence number in the interval next sequence number to base plus n minus 1, which can be used for packets that can be sent immediately should data arrive from the upper layer. Means this is a allowable number of packets still pending which can be sent by the sender to the receiver if data is available from upper layer. And finally, sequence number greater than or equal to base number plus n cannot be used until an unacknowledged packet currently in pipeline has been acknowledged. This range is currently not usable unless and until this window will slide. The range of permissible sequence number for transmitted but not yet acknowledged packets can be viewed as window of size n as shown, or the range of sequence numbers. As protocol operates, this window slides forward for sequence number space. For this reason, n is often referred to as window size and GBN protocol itself as an sliding window protocol. As we know, go back and allows sender to push multiple packets in channel. Then question may arise, why to restrict it to n as in our case? Or which factor decides the value of n? Apart from other flow control reason of underlying channel and protocol, one prominent reason is the number of sequence number bit in the header packet. As we had seen earlier, in RDT protocol with 1 bit sequence number, only 2 packets can be sent, that is packet 0 or packet 1. If k is the number of bit in the packet sequence number field, the range of sequence number is thus 0 to 2 raised to k minus 1. That is, window is of size and is 2 raised to k. Another intrinsic feature of go back N protocol is that here receiver issues cumulative acknowledgement, which may result into a sender may receive duplicate acknowledgements. Instead of setting a timer for each in-transit packets, it is set for the oldest in-flight packet. And on timeout event, sender retransmit all the packets in the window, having sequence number greater than the one which was already acknowledged. To have a better insight, we will first explore the FSM of this go back N protocol and the animated illustration which will help us to clear the working of this protocol. Now we will briefly explore an extended finite state machine description of the sender and receiver side of acknowledge based negative acknowledge free GBN protocol. The FSM description is termed as an extended FSM since we have added variables similar to the programming language variable and operations and conditional actions involving these variables. Initially, the sender is in the waiting state and base is equal to next sequence number, that is 1. This is the initial condition. As shown, GBN sender must respond to 3 types of events. Typically, invocation from the above layer, receipt of acknowledgement from receiver, or a timeout event. There are typically 3 events to whom our GBN sender must respond. One is invocation from the above layer when the data is available for transmission, receipt of acknowledgement from the receiver, and third is the timeout event. Invocation from above. When rdt.send is called from above, when we're having data available from above layer, rdt.send has been called. Sender first check to see if the window is full. That is, whether there are n outstanding unacknowledged packets. If the window is not full, a packet is created and sent, which is mentioned in code form here. First, sender will check whether the window is full, and if there is vacancy, then it will create a packet, and packet is sent, and the variables are appropriately updated accordingly. If the window is full, then sender will simply return packet back to the upper layer, refuse packet, and implicit indication that window is full. With an when the data is sent or refused back to the upper layer, it will simply implicitly indicating that right now the window is full and unable to send the packets. The upper layer would presumably then have to try again later. Next event could be the receipt of an acknowledgement from receiver. In our GBN protocol, an acknowledgement for a packet with sequence number n will be taken to be a cumulative acknowledgement, indicating that all packets with the sequence number up to and including the n have been correctly received at the receiver, because GBN is based on cumulative acknowledgement mechanism. On receipt of the packet, acknowledgement packets from the receiver, and packet is not corrupt, in that case, here the base values get updated accordingly, and if base and sequence numbers are equal, then we'll need to stop the timer, otherwise we need to start the timer. The third event could be timeout event. The protocol name is go back n, is derived from the sender's behavior in the presence of lost or overlay delayed packets. As in stop and wait protocol, which we have seen earlier, a timer will again be used to recover from lost data or acknowledgement packets. If a timeout occurs, sender needs to resend all packets that have been previously sent but not have yet been acknowledged. If there is a timeout event, here sender needs to send all unacknowledged packets again to the receiver. This GBN sender uses only a single timer, which can be thought of as a timer for the oldest transmitted but not yet acknowledged packet, because GBN is maintaining only a single timer for all the packets, as against individual timer as in case of selective repeat, which we will explore next. If an acknowledgement packet is received but there are still additional transmitted but not yet acknowledged packet, the timer is restarted. If there are no outstanding unacknowledged packets, then in that case we need to stop the timer. If the packet receipt is corrupted, then take no action. This is how the FSM senders model will work. Having explored GBN's sender module, now we will see GBN's receiver FSM model. The receiver's action in GBN is simple. Initial condition is receiver expect packet number 1, and on receipt it will simply send acknowledgement back to the sender. It is expecting packet number 1 from the sender, and on receipt it will simply send the acknowledgement packet to the sender. The task of sender is to send acknowledgement to the receiver. By default, the task of sender is just to send an acknowledgement packet to the receiver, from whom the receiver has received the packet. If the packet with the sequence number n is received correctly and is in order, the receiver sends an acknowledgement for packet n and deliver the data portion of the packet to the upper layer. In all other cases, receiver discard the packet and resets an acknowledge for the most recently received but in order packet. Here, on receipt of packet, if the packet is corrupted or out of order, in that case, sender will simply discard the packet. But if the packet is in order and correctly received, in that case, sender will deliver the packet by extracting data from the packet. It will deliver data to the upper layer and appropriately send acknowledgement packet to the sender with expected sequence number, acknowledgement, and checksum. Note that since packets are delivered one at a time to the upper layer, if packet K has been received and delivered, then all packets with a sequence number lower than K have also been delivered. Thus, the use of cumulative acknowledgement is a natural choice for GBN. If GBN acknowledge cumulatively. In our GBN protocol, the receiver discard out of order packets. Although it may seem silly and wasteful to discard correctly received but out of order packets, as it has to deliver data in order to the upper layer. The advantage of this approach is the simplicity of receiver buffering. And the receiver need not buffer any out of order packets. As receiver straightforward to reject or discard the out of order packet, it need not to provide any buffer arrangement at receiver, because receiver has to deliver packet in order to the upper layer. Thus, while the sender must maintain the upper and lower bound of its window and position of next sequence number within this window, the only piece of information the receiver needs to maintain is the sequence number of the next in order packet. That is expected sequence number plus in. Here the receiver maintains the sequence number of next expected packet. This value is held in the variable expected sequence number. Of course, the disadvantage of throwing away correctly received out of order packet is that subsequent retransmission of that packet might be lost or garbled, and thus even more retransmission would be required at the cost of not maintaining buffer at the receiver, as even the correctly received but out of order packet needs to discard. It will indirectly hamper the bandwidth because we need to retransmit all those packets again. We will use this illustration to explain the working of GBN protocol. Here, for sake of example, we have restricted the size of window to 4. That is, the value of n is 4. Means we are having only 4 active packets which can be sent. Since the size of window is 4, sender is capable of sending only 4 packets. That is packet number 0, packet number 1, packet number 2, packet number 3. Even though sender is receiving the data from above layer, but since we have restricted size of window to 4, sender is capable of sending only 4 packets. Once sender has pushed all the 4 packets into the channel, it needs to wait till it receives an acknowledgement from the receiver for already sent packets. Here packet number 0 was sent, which was properly acknowledged. On receipt of an acknowledgement for the already sent packet, here the slider window is slide further. Initially, the active sequence numbers were 0, 1, 2, 3. On receipt of acknowledgement 0 for the 0th packet, now window has slide to 1, 2, 3, 4. On receipt of another acknowledgement for packet number 1, the window again slided, and now the active sequence number is 2, 3, 4, 5. Likewise, on receipt of successive receipt of acknowledgement from the receiver, the window is sliding. This is how the GBN is work in normal. Suppose during transmission, suppose packet 2 lost in between. In this case, as packet 2 has not arrived at receiver, receiver will not acknowledge. And the packet 3 has been received. But since packet 2 was not there, packet 3 was received directly, packet 3 is discarded because it is out of order. And all consecutive packets which were sent after packet 2, though those packets were received by a receiver successfully, but those packets were simply discarded, as all the packets after packet 2, that is packet 3, packet 4, packet 5 are out of order. As receiver in this GBN does not have any buffer, so these packets are simply discarded. And as packet 2 was lost, sender will not get any receipt or acknowledgement from receiver for this packet 2. Hence, after a timeout event, sender needs to retransmit all the packets following packet 2, packet 3, packet 4, packet 5. So after, here as shown, after timeout event, all the packets including packet 2, packet 3 and packet 4, packet 5 are need to retransmit again to the receiver. Here we note that GBN protocol incorporates almost all of the techniques, which includes the use of sequence numbers, cumulative acknowledgement, checksum for error detection, and timeout and retransmit operation. Now with the help of small animation, I will try to explain the working of GBN protocol. For this example, I had taken the size of window of 5 packets. Now I'm transferring those packets from sender to receiver, and while transmission, suppose packet number second was killed, that is lost. So during transmission, packet number 0, 1, 3, 4 were received, but since packet number 0 and 1 are in order, are sent to the upper layer, and packet number 3 and 4, though received successfully, but are not acknowledged. As you know, in GBN, there is no buffer as such in the receiver end. So all the subsequent packets after packet number 2, 3, that is 3, 4, 5, 6 were received successfully but not being acknowledged, and we need to retransmit all those packets. And after the retransmission, then the window is shifted for the next 5. Again, the next 5 packets are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 were sent. The packet number 8 was lost. Only packet number 7 was received and sent to the upper layer. Now all the remaining packets after packet number 8, 9, 10 were need to retransmit. This is how the GPN works. That is, in case of GPN, as there is no buffer as such at the receiver end, all the out of order packet received at receiver need to retransmit, which will affect the overall utilization of channel. Thank you very much for listening to me till end.